call of Aldermen.
Tyson. Here. Priscilla. Here. Holt. Here. Smith. Here. Rosewood.
Here.
Randall.
Here.
Anthony.
Here.
Davidson.
Here.
Silsby.
Here.
Hayden.
Here.
Simon.
Here.
White.
Here.
Galletti.
Here.
Musgrove.
Here.
Orland.
Here.
Schneider.
All the Aldermen are present. Roll call department heads.
Police Chief Clark. Here. Fire Chief Weissman.
Here.
City Attorney Garrett Horner.
Here.
Ken Vaughn.
Here.
Royce Carlisle. Jamie Matron.
Here.
Tim Gregowitz.
Here.
Jim Schneider.
Here.
Leander Spearman.
Here.
Emily Foltz.
Here.
Chuck Schaefer.
Here.
Bob Sabo.
Here.
Debbie Belleville.
Here. Royce is excused. That's the only one I had, right?
How is he doing?
He's making great progress. He's home and making great progress. So, with that said, I'd ask everyone to please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, good evening. There's no public hearings this evening. I will open public participation. When I call on you, please step to the microphone, give your name and address, and keep your comments to 2 to 3 minutes if you would, please. At this time, I will open public participation. Yes, sir.
Michael Hackberg, 701 Centerville. I have a question about the sales tax tip. During tonight's Legal and Ordinance Committee, Eric and Emily commented that very little money comes into this account. During tonight's Streets and Grades, I noticed that the current project list has over $3 million budgeted from this account. Tim told me to ask Jamie, how are these projects going to be funded? Can you comment on that? Also, Resolution 3153, authorizing the city attorney to intervene on behalf of the taxpayers. This made me think, could the city attorney intervene on behalf of the taxpayers when a commercial property is reappraised from $5.5 million to $3.4 million, and there's no board of review or appeal in that situation? And last, on the Meredithone, why has it taken over 3 months to publish an RFP? I'd ask that the deadline be extended by this 3-month period. Also, the restrictions that were placed on the developer that are not applied to Mr. Cook's project. Redevelopment of the existing structure. Mr. Cook's proposed use of the property requires that the taxpayers demo the existing building. Continuity of character. Mr. Cook's proposal creates a hole in the downtown skyline. Financial stability. Mr. Cook's proposal requires that the taxpayers maintain the park forever. Parking. Mr. Cook's proposal eliminates 9 downtown parking spots. Can you name one downtown business or project that relies 100% on private parking? I say shame on the aldermen who approved publishing such a requirement for proposal. You had to know that these extreme requirements would frighten off any potential investors. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Rose Wilson, 322 West High Street, Belleville. I have a concern that I would like to bring up tonight. A week ago, an article was published in the Sunday newspaper in regards how you guys are doing your job. Something in that article really jumped at me, and a lot of people, including municipalities, we had some dialogue. And I feel that opening the vault to the general public is unacceptable. As a citizen, I have an enormous amount of concern about this. Anything that you need and that is possible to get, you can get it with a FOIA and go to the front desk. I think on behalf of the person in charge, it is a very poor decision, and it's time that somebody light grows up and doesn't.
Point of order.
It's, might be point of order, but.
Okay, let's finish.
I'd be happy to address that. I know this is concerning
Okay,
me.
hold it.
It was
And
a
I would
story of
like-
Bob Brunkow, who was in there. I took him down to our vault, so that he's the one who wrote the book about Belleville. I think it was a great thing that he was in there. Okay?
That's not what
You don't
you
have all the
said,
info.
Mr. Cook, that's not what you
You're
said
entitled to your
in the
opinion,
paper.
okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Rose. We're gonna cut it.
I would like this to be on record that I object to people, the general public going in the vault.
Okay, so noted. Okay. Yes, sir, back in the corner. Mr. Lanner.
Start Planner 318 South 29th Street, Belleville. Number one, I think any large expenditure of, say, over $100,000, for instance, should have, the alderman should have a big say in this, and I don't think that's been the case in the past. And Lindenwood has probably bought up 50 pieces of private property, and they claim they're tax exempt, they're private property, and it's a private school, I mean, and they're private, and they got a tax exempt, so that's 50 private homes that are not gonna be paying anywhere from $2,000 to $6,000 property taxes into the county. And all those 50 homes that were taken over by Lindenwood, those people probably, if they didn't get out of the city and county, would surprise me. So that's a lot of money Belleville's lost. You gotta take all things into account before we go thinking Lindenwood is another Scott Air Force Base, and I don't even. And also Lindenwood has got these trash dumpsters behind Bob the Barber that are totally overflowing with trash for all weekend, even up until this evening when I come up to the meeting, they're still overflowing. Now, if they're gonna have an overflow, if they're expecting a heavy influx of trash, they should schedule a pickup, an extra pickup, instead of trashing up the neighborhood.
Stuart, I'm gonna shock you. I'm gonna agree with you.
Okay.
Okay? And if Bobby Sable's noting it right now, we'll check it tomorrow. And as much as you call my office, if you'd have called my office with that today, we'd have been out there today. Okay? Yes, sir.
Pastor Ed Weston from Union United Methodist Church. My home address is 2270 Haverford. Our church is located just a few blocks away on East Main, 721 East Main. We've been a partner with the community since actually from 1890 with two downtown churches. We've been at our current site for over 60 years. We committed in 1998 to stay downtown. The congregation decided at that point not to move out to the east side, really outside the city limits of Belleville, and decided to commit to the downtown community. We thought that's where our mission was. Since 1998, we have committed over $8 million in construction costs. Part of that was to a fire that happened in 2002 that was not planned on our part, but we sure appreciated the fire department, police department protecting the rest of our property. Later on the agenda tonight, you'll have an opportunity to vote on a request of ours to waive our building fees for the last piece. We're ready to commit almost $1.1 million in the final renovation of several floors inside. We try to be a good neighbor to the community through our food pantry, through our sack lunch program for the homeless. Many of you know that the tour to Belleville begins and ends at our property. Next year during the bicentennial, the run is going to start and end in our property. You had your one of the long-range planning committee presentations was in our building. We tried our best to be a community partner, and I just ask that you seriously consider this tonight. We appreciate it. With me tonight is one of the members of our church, as well as one of the members of our building committee, Robert Dillon.
I live at 600 Lawrence Lane, and just respectfully ask your consideration on waiving these fees for our property. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else this evening in public participation? Yes, ma'am.
Mary McHugh, 10503 West Main. I think that many of you received a communique about the homeless initiative meeting that would be taking this Saturday, 10 to whatever. I know a lot of you have not been involved. It would be really nice if, and it's really a bad time of year, I think, for it, but see if some of us can get there and see what we can do. We have to start pulling together on this a little stronger to see if it can happen, and what, you never know, maybe something greater will happen with it when we get there. And the other thing I'd like to do, if I might, is to say something about us. We have great people there. We have a great council. We have a wonderful city. But I think there's some people here before the end of this year that we should honor here this evening, and that's our department heads. We have, in my opinion, one of the greatest group of department heads of any city could possibly have. And we're very proud of you, and I think we should give them a hand, and would you all stand up, please? That's just great, isn't it? That's a real Christmas gift for us.
They deserve it. Okay, there's no others, no other comment. I'm going to close public participation. We'll go on with the meeting. We have no presentations tonight or appointments. We have the reading of the minutes, the regular city council meeting minutes held December 2nd, 2013. What's your pleasure?
Your Honor, I'd like to make a motion to receive and file the minutes, regular city council meeting minutes of the December 2nd, 2013 meeting. So moved.
Motion by Alderman Heisler, second by Alderman Kinsella. Any additions or corrections? All in favor of approving the minutes and having them filed signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Claims, payroll, and disbursements. What's your pleasure?
I make a motion that we pay the claims, payroll, and disbursements. So moved, Your Honor.
Motion by Alderman Heisler, second by Alderman Schmidt. Discussion on the claims. Roll call.
Heisler.
Aye.
Kinsella.
Aye.
Holt.
Aye.
Schmidt.
Aye.
Ridgewitz.
Aye.
Randall.
Aye.
Anthony.
Aye.
Davidson.
Aye.
Silsby. Hayden.
Aye.
Seibert.
Aye.
White.
Aye.
Galletti.
Aye.
Musgrove.
Aye.
Orlett. Schneider.
Aye.
Motion carries. We have if I can, I'm going to combine the housing report of cash receipts for fiscal year 2013 and 14 and the treasurer's report, City of Belleville funds and statement of cash and investments for November 2013. What's your pleasure?
I move to approve both of them.
And receive and file. Motion by Alderman
Second,
Kinsella,
Ron.
second by Alderman Heisler. Discussion on those two reports. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have a question, I guess, would be for under building permits. We've got $43,472 coming in on cash receipts in November, and I'd like to know what explains the significant increase.
Building permits in what month now was this?
November.
November, do we know about what? Jamie?
The St. Paul's.
Oh, yeah, that was St. Paul's, I'm sorry. I was trying to think through my mind which project would that help. St. Paul's would definitely put it up greater than usual, okay? We have a motion, we have a second to receive and file those two reports. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Oral reports, Alderman Heisler.
Yes, Your Honor. On behalf of the Master Sewer Committee, I'd like to make the following motion to approve a contract between the City of Belleville and Crawford, Murph, and Tilly Incorporated to provide engineering services for the East Creek Watershed SSO Relief Improvement Project in an amount not to exceed $80,000. So moved, Your Honor.
Motion by Alderman Heisler, second by Alderman Hayden. Do I have discussion? Roll call.
Heisler.
Aye.
Kinsella.
Aye.
Holt.
Aye.
Schmidt.
Aye.
Ridgewitz.
Aye.
Randall.
Aye.
Anthony.
Aye.
Davidson.
Aye.
Silsby.
Aye.
Hayden.
Aye.
Seibert.
Aye.
White.
Aye.
Galletti.
Aye.
Musgrove.
Aye.
Orlett.
Aye.
Schneider.
Aye.
Motion carries. Alderman Ridgewitz.
I'd like to make a following motion on behalf of the Public Health and Housing Committee. One, to scrap the scrapping of 2 housing vehicles.
We have a motion by Alderman Ridgewitz. Do I hear a second? Second by Alderman Schmidt. Do I hear discussion on scrapping those 2 vehicles? They're old, high mileage, not working. We, believe me, we checked them out. Roll call.
Heisler.
Aye.
Kinsella.
Aye.
Holt. Schmidt.
Aye.
Rudowitz.
Aye.
Randall.
Aye.
Anthony.
Aye.
Davidson.
Aye.
Silsby.
Aye.
Hayden.
Aye.
Seibert.
Aye.
White.
Aye.
Galletti. Musgrove.
Aye.
Orland. Schneider.
Motion carries.
Aye.
Next.
Second, I'd like to approve the request, make a motion to approve the request from United Methodist Church, 721 East Main Street, to waiver the building permit fees on their estimated $1 million renovation project.
Motion by Alderman Rudowitz, second by Alderman Seibert. Any discussion? Roll call.
Heisler.
Aye.
Kinsella.
No.
Holt.
No.
Schmidt.
Aye.
Rudowitz.
Aye.
Randall.
No.
Anthony.
Aye.
Davidson.
Aye.
Silsby.
Aye.
Hayden.
No.
Seibert.
Aye.
White.
Aye.
Galletti. Musgrove.
Aye.
Orland. Schneider.
No.
12-5.
What's that?
12-5.
Ayes have it. Alderman Silsby.
Your Honor, on behalf of the Finance Committee, I'd like to make the following motions. The first one is a motion to approve the 20-year gas franchise agreement with Ameren. So moved.
Motion by Alderman Silsby, second by Alderman Schmidt. Discussion on this? We had some discussion in finance. As everyone knows, the 50-year lease was our terms. We're just, contract was just ended recently. And we kind of felt after much discussion that the 20 was a good compromise in seeing how things go. So I think it was all explained. If there's no further questions, roll call.
Heisler.
Aye.
Kinsella.
Aye.
Holt. Schmidt.
Aye.
Rudowitz.
Aye.
Randall.
Aye.
Anthony.
Aye.
Davidson.
Aye.
Silsby.
Aye.
Hayden.
Aye.
Seibert.
Aye.
White.
Aye.
Galletti.
Aye.
Musgrove.
Aye.
Orland. Schneider.
Aye.
Motion carries. Alderman Silsby.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the purchase of traffic counters from M.H. Corbin Incorporated.
So moved.
Motion by Alderman Silsby, second by Alderman Seibert. Discussion on this motion. Roll call.
Heisler.
Aye.
Kinsella.
Aye.
Holt.
Aye.
Schmidt.
Aye.
Rudowitz.
Aye.
Randall.
Aye.
Anthony.
Aye.
Davidson.
Aye.
Silsby.
Aye.
Hayden.
Aye.
Seibert.
Aye.
White.
Aye.
Galletti.
Aye.
Musgrove.
Aye.
Orland. Schneider.
Motion carries.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the wide area network equipment from Trumpet Communications for $6,000. So moved.
Motion by Alderman Silsby, second by Alderman Schmidt. Discussion from the floor. Roll call.
Heisler.
Aye.
Kinsella.
Aye.
Holt.
Aye.
Schmidt.
Aye.
Rudowitz.
Aye.
Randall.
Aye.
Anthony.
Aye.
Davidson.
Aye.
Silsby.
Aye.
Hayden. Seibert. White.
Aye.
Galletti.
Aye.
Musgrove.
Aye.
Orland. Schneider.
Aye.
Motion carries.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the 2013 tax levy.
Motion by Alderman Silsby. Do I hear a second? Second by Alderman Schmidt. Do I hear discussion? Roll call.
Heisler.
Aye.
Kinsella.
Aye.
Holt.
Aye.
Schmidt.
Aye.
Rudowitz.
Aye.
Randall.
Aye.
Anthony.
Aye.
Davidson.
Aye.
Silsby.
Aye.
Hayden.
Aye.
Seibert.
Aye.
White. Galletti.
No.
Musgrove.
Aye.
Orland.
Aye.
Schneider.
No.
Motion carries.
Make a motion to close the sales tax tip fund after final bills are paid by December 31st, 2013. So moved.
Motion by Alderman Silsby. Do I hear a second? Second by Alderman Schmidt. Discussion on this motion. Yes, ma'am. I recognize Alderman Schmidt first.
Okay, I have the same questions that Mr. Hadford did from the audience. What does this do to those projects that are currently being funded out of this?
Jamie, you want to explain? That money is from CHIP 3, right?
Yeah, the boundaries are concurrent with, or coincide with TIP 3. So any project that can be paid out of TIP 3 could also be paid out of the sales tax tip. It's just the money was allocated between two funds. So when sales tax tip goes away, any projects that are still outstanding, we would just have to amend the budget in 3 to pay for them.
Let me explain a little bit further that maybe you didn't get this explanation. Jamie, step up to the mic, would you, and just explain to them how we used to get money from the state, and that's where this was created, and then the state stopped that program several years ago, funding it.
Well, I think the state sales tax tip was developed in 86, I believe. It was a boundary within TIP 3 that held several retail businesses. The state allocated a portion of sales tax growth for the whole state, and any sales tax tips throughout the state would file reports of any businesses within those districts. The state would calculate if there was a sales tax growth, If there was, they would allocate a portion of their fund to you to put in that fund, and you would have to match it. Not match it 100%, but match it based on your municipal sales tax growth. So that was the means for why it was created, was because we got a share of state sales tax dollars into this TIF fund to spend. It was always allocated a portion of the real estate taxes that TIF 3 received were put in there. It was kind of an extra accounting function just between the two TIF accounts. Like the mayor said, for the last, well, definitely before I was here, probably a few years before I got here.
It's about 7 or 8 years now. I think it changed right before I became mayor, maybe 9 years now.
Okay, the state, every year we still file the same report. They come back saying there was no growth in the state funds, much less in our state sales tax TIF businesses, so based off of their base year. So they wouldn't allocate us any money. We didn't have to match any money in it. So.
We hung on to it, we hung on to it thinking if they were going to reinstate the program, we wouldn't have to go back and reinstate the TIF. And we checked with the, comptroller and all of that at the time. But now they sent out a mandate
Yeah,
to
now the
close it.
states are dissolving.
So they're dissolving it. So this is why we're, we have to take action before December 30th. Alderman Hayden?
Yes. But this says, I got a question from a constituent. This has nothing to do, though, with the extra sales tax with the Walmart or
No,
the park.
no, absolutely not.
The public
No.
understands
No.
that's not being amended.
No, and like I said,
Those are different things.
it was a great program when it existed, but they cut it out 8, 9 years ago, and we were hopeful that it might get reinstated. Never has. Then they finally passed legislation to eliminate it and set the date as this year, December 30th.
So this is really just a formality, it's
It's-
not going to affect anything
No,
we're doing.
no, not at all. It's a formality for her to do her bookkeeping.
Like I talked about, the only revenue that was put into that fund each year
Was from TIF 3.
since the sales tax has been stopped is a portion, I think 23% of the real estate taxes at TIF 3. And auditors back in the 80s came up with that percentage. Allocated part of the real estate taxes from
So we kept
into
that
the
up.
sales tax. So it was really just, like I said, extra accounting work for me, nothing really, since they stopped giving us the sales tax money, nothing really.
Alderman Hayden?
Well, it's not just a formality, it actually does put us in compliance with the state statute.
With what they've adopted now, yeah. Okay. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you for the explanations. It gave them a little bit more light, I think. Roll call.
Heisler.
Aye.
Kinsella.
Aye.
Holt.
Aye.
Schmidt. Ridgewitz.
Aye.
Randall.
Aye.
Anthony.
Aye.
Davidson.
Aye.
Silsby.
Aye.
Hayden.
Aye.
Seibert.
Aye.
White.
Aye.
Galletti.
Aye.
Musgrove.
Aye.
Orwood.
Aye.
Schneider.
Aye.
Motion carries. Alderman Kinsella.
I make a motion on behalf of the Economic Development and Annexation Committee to approve the development agreement with Hubbard Construction Incorporated for the remodeling and facade improvements at the existing facility located at 107 West Main Street.
Motion by Alderman Kinsella, second by Alderman Anthony. Discussion. Yes, sir.
Mr. Mayor, I've had a couple of people ask me, I'm not sure why they asked me, but there's some question about the parking. Is there anybody here can answer that parking?
Pat, you want to take a shot at it?
Yeah, we've got
I'd like to stand up, Pat, and hit the mic. Tell who you are and who your brother is.
Pat Schaefer, represent this project. And no, we've got that worked out through tremendous help from the city. And this whole project worked so smooth with the parish shop. He worked with great cooperation. We worked through this thing great, and we really appreciate that. But no, we've got that worked out, and hopefully everything will go right. It will be in good shape, and anticipate do more projects in the near future, actually. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, right? Who was the second?
Anthony.
Oh, sorry, Anthony. Roll call.
Heisler.
Aye.
Kinsella.
Aye.
Holt.
Aye.
Schmidt.
Aye.
Ridgewitz.
Aye.
Randall.
Aye.
Anthony.
Aye.
Davidson.
Aye.
Silsby.
Aye.
Hayden.
Aye.
Seibert.
Aye.
White.
Aye.
Galletti.
Aye.
Musgrove.
Aye.
Orwood. Schneider.
Motion carries. Alderman Seibert.
Yes, Your Honor, I have three motions. I'd like to read them as a group and vote on one.
I don't hear any opposition. Go ahead.
A motion to approve Peel Engineering for a stormwater separation in the amount of $20,660
$6.50. Motion for a streetlight installation at 1620 Whipple and 45 Missouri. A motion to approve warranty contracting under the current existing contract to install riprap in the amount of $13,750 with the stipulation that the owner of 1309 Gate Street holds the city harmony of any future liability. So moved, Your Honor.
Motion by Alderman Seibert, second by Alderman Hayden. Discussion.
Your Honor, Mr. Chairman, we need to recognize that at the committee, the last phrase actually by committee was approved. The owner of 1309 State Street will hold the city harmless of any future liability, indemnity, and as written by the city attorney, and he agreed that the committee to sign it before the project would start.
The release will actually be written by the city attorney.
Correct. The city attorney around mentioned that we need the indemnity clause and they
Right.
hold us harmless in the future, et cetera. So
Right.
most of the committee was at all of that.
We've seen watershed deals where if they come back later on and say, we just changed everything, we don't want to be in the middle of that.
So I agree with that.
Okay, so we got that change, okay. Yes, ma'am.
We also said that the street light at 1420 Whitlow is going across the street on the other side of the street. It would be in front of 1420. I'm sorry, 1620.
Tim's got that down. We'll make the request for them. Okay?
Tim left, okay.
No, Tim's right there in the first, second row.
I mean Chuck left, okay, never mind. Sorry.
Okay. We have a motion, and probably we'll have to talk to his brother. We have a motion and we have a second to approve those three requests from Streets and Grades. Roll call.
Heisler.
Aye.
Kinsella.
Aye.
Holt.
Aye.
Schmidt.
Aye.
Ridgewitz.
Aye.
Randall.
Aye.
Anthony.
Aye.
Davidson.
Aye.
Silsby.
Aye.
Hayden.
Aye.
Seibert.
Aye.
White.
Aye.
Letty.
Aye.
Musgrove.
Aye.
Orlett.
Aye.
Schneider.
Aye.
Motion carries. Alderman Arlett.
Yes, Your Honor, I'd like to make a motion on behalf of the traffic committee to create no parking, both sides on North Church Street, starting at 310 south from Douglas Avenue and ending 415 south from Douglas Avenue. So moved.
Motion by Alderman Arlett, second by Alderman Hayden, coming from the traffic committee and have the proper ordinance drawn. Any discussion?
I just have a question. Are you intending to put up signs at both ends? Are you going to paint the curbs? How are you letting residents know?
There'll be a combination of signs and possibly painted curbs once the ordinance passes. The street department will go out and take a look at the proper ways to mark it. Whatever it requires. It's a combination usually of the two. We have a motion, we have a second, to have the proper ordinance drawn, it was just read. All in favor of this motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Alderman Musgrove.
Your Honor, I'd like to make the following motions on behalf of the Ordinance and Legal Review Committee.
Any objections? We'll go ahead and read them. Go ahead.
I'll read them as a group.
I don't hear anybody saying no, and we've touched on a couple of them a little bit already on one, so go ahead.
Number one, the consideration of ordinance concerning automatic extension of an enterprise zone. Item 2, consideration of an ordinance concerning termination of sales tax tip. 3, consideration of resolution authorizing intervention in appeals before the Illinois Property Tax Appeal Board. 4, consideration of resolution authorizing grant of utility easement. Consideration of resolution authorizing sale of surplus real estate.
We have a motion by Alderman Musgrove. Do I have a second? Second by Alderman Schmidt. Do I hear discussion on these 5 topics? Alderman Hayden?
Just a quick question. Can you give a little explanation of exactly what number 1 is doing?
Number 1 is, we explained in committee tonight that we have to extend the enterprise zone because of some changes they've made. Eric, you want to?
The original expiration date of our enterprise zone was December 31st of 2015. However, with the state amended the enterprise zone legislation this summer, and all zones that were set to expire before 2016 were automatically extended to July 1st of 2016. So we're really just amending our ordinances for the dates to coincide with the state statute.
Okay, does that answer your question, Alderman?
No, I just wanted to let everybody else know on resolution 3152, the sale of property, the address is West.
Yeah, that one, number 5, that actually in the packet, it's West Washington, okay? Okay? Seeing no other questions, I ask for a roll call vote of these motions coming from ordinance.
Heisler.
Aye.
Kinsella.
Aye.
Holt.
Aye.
Schmidt.
Aye.
Ridgewitz.
Aye.
Randall.
Aye.
Anthony.
Aye.
Davidson.
Aye.
Silsby.
Aye.
Hayden.
Aye.
Seibert.
Aye.
White.
Aye.
Galletti.
Aye.
Musgrove.
Aye.
Orlett.
Aye.
Schneider.
Motion's carried. Communications. Do I read it?
Yes, sir. Communication from Royal Family Kids Camp asking permission to have a 5K race, the Royal Run, on Saturday, March 1st, 2014, beginning at 8 a.m. It would begin and end at the Huff Park. A copy of the route is attached.
Do I hear a motion to approve this event? Motion by Alderman Schmidt, do I hear a second? Second by Alderman Schneider, do I hear discussion? All in favor of approving this event signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Did you have a question?
Yeah, just one quick point out. Is this a typo? The date of the letter is November 25th, 2014, 2013.
Yeah, I think it was just a typo on there, but I didn't catch it.
I'm still in favor for it, so.
Okay, very good. Duly noted. Petitions, we have none. Resolutions, I'd ask for a motion to read by title only. Resolution 3152, 3153, and 3154. Do I hear a motion? Motion by Alderman Silsby. Do I hear a second? Second by Alderman White. Discussion on reading those three by title only. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
A resolution number 3152, a resolution authorizing the sale of surplus public real estate.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Alderman Silsby, second by Alderman Schmidt. Discussion on this first one. Roll call.
Heisler.
Aye.
Kinsella.
Aye.
Holt.
Aye.
Schmidt.
Aye.
Ridgewitz.
Aye.
Randall.
Aye.
Anthony.
Aye.
Davidson. Silsby. Hayden. Seibert.
Aye.
I'm sorry, I didn't get Hayden.
Aye.
White. Aye. Galletti. Aye.
Aye.
Musgrove. Orlett. Schneider.
Aye.
Motion carries. Alderman Silsby.
Motion to approve resolution 3153.
Second. Second by Alderman Schmidt. Motion by Alderman Silsby. Question? Have a question?
On section 1, would it be more than any for the city attorney, Garrett Marshall, for the city attorney, and the assistant city attorney, in case there's somebody else that's going to advocate for us?
Usually, when we've done this, we put the name because you have to attach it to the intervention document, and they check it with the signature. That's what I was told. You would just simply, you would just amend the resolution in the future.
We have a motion, we have a second. Roll call.
Heisler.
Aye.
Kinsella.
Aye.
Holt.
Aye.
Schmidt.
Aye.
Ridgewitz.
Aye.
Randall.
Aye.
Anthony.
Aye.
Davidson.
Aye.
Silsby.
Aye.
Hayden.
Aye.
Seibert.
Aye.
White.
Aye.
Galletti.
Aye.
Musgrove.
Aye.
Orlett. Schneider.
Aye.
Motion carries. Alderman Silsby.
Motion to approve resolution 3154, authorizing the grant of utility easement. So moved.
We have a motion, we have a second.
Second.
Second by Alderman Anthony on that resolution 3154. Any discussion? Roll call.
Heisler.
Aye.
Kinsella.
Aye.
Holt.
Aye.
Schmidt.
Aye.
Ridgewitz.
Aye.
Randall.
Aye.
Anthony.
Aye.
Davidson. Silsby.
Aye.
Hayden.
Aye.
Seibert.
Aye.
White.
Aye.
Galletti.
Aye.
Musgrove.
Aye.
Orlett. Schneider.
Motion carries. I ask for a motion to read by title only. Ordinances 7733, 7734, 7735, and 7736.
So moved and agree.
Motion by Alderman Silsby to approve, second by Alderman Schmidt to read by title only and as a group. Any objection? Yes.
They're going to be read as a group, they're going to be voted on separately.
Do you want one of them particularly voted taken out of there? Are you willing to do any of them as a group?
The tax levy.
We'll move that, do that one separate. All in favor of Alderman Silsby's motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Read them all, but don't read the let's see. Tax levy is which one?
7733.
7733. So start with B and do B, C, and D first.
Okay. B, ordinance number 7734, an ordinance renewing an existing franchise and granting for a period of 20 years
to Ameren, Illinois, a corporation, its successors, and assigns the franchise right, permission, and authority to construct, reconstruct, excavate, for, place, remove, extend, maintain, and operate a gas utility system in the city of Belleville, county of St. Clair, and state of Illinois. C, ordinance number 7735, an ordinance amending ordinance number 4135 to extend the term of the Belleville Enterprise Zone. D, ordinance number 7736, an ordinance number 4678 to terminate state sales tax boundary tip.
Motion to approve ordinance 7734, 7735, 7736, so moved.
Motion by Alderman Silsby, second by Alderman White. Discussion on those three. Roll call.
Heisler.
Aye.
Kinsella.
Aye.
Holt.
Aye.
Schmidt. Ridgewitz.
Aye.
Randall. Anthony.
Aye.
Davidson. Silsby.
Aye.
Hayden. Cyber.
Aye.
White. Galletti. Musgrove.
Aye.
Orland. Schneider.
Those three ordinances pass. Alderman Silsby, you want to go back and pick up the first one?
Motion to approve ordinance 7733, ordinance providing for the annual tax levy upon real estate situated within the public limits of the city of Belleville and the county of St. Clair and the state of Illinois, subject to taxation for the fiscal year commencing on the first day of May 2013 and ending on the 30th day of April 2014. So moved.
Motion by Alderman Silsby, second by Alderman Seibert. Do I hear discussion on this? Roll call.
Heisler.
Aye.
Kinsella.
Aye.
Holt.
Aye.
Schmidt.
Aye.
Ridgewitz.
Aye.
Randall.
Aye.
Anthony.
Aye.
Davidson.
Aye.
Silsby.
Aye.
Hayden.
Aye.
Cyber.
Aye.
White.
Aye.
Galletti. Musgrove.
Aye.
Orland.
Aye.
Schneider.
No.
Ayes have it. Unfinished business. We have a zoning board of appeals advisory report, case number 58, November 13th. Sammy, how do you spell the last name?
Hampton, H-A-M-D-A-N.
Okay. Requesting a use variance in order to operate a convenience store at 528 North Douglas Avenue, located in an A1 single-family zoning district.
Your Honor, I'd like to make a motion to go along with the zoning board of appeals advisory report and have the proper ordinance drawn.
We have a motion by Alderman Heisler. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Alderman Rudowitz. Discussion.
Yes, Your Honor, I'd just like to state for the record that I'm in favor of this, but any going for a liquor license in the future, I will be opposed to it, and I will be seeking with the support of my fellow aldermen in opposing any request for a liquor license in the future.
Alderman Kinsella.
Your Honor, when he was applying for this or talking before the zoning board, he invited us down to look at the place he's now working. After my visual look at that and my inspection, I absolutely ask everybody to vote against this. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I have done some research on the property that they currently own in Cahokia. That business has been cited for selling tobacco to minors. It has been cited for selling cigarettes singly. It has been cited for selling obscenity. It has been put off limits by the Cahokia High School. And I also strongly urge my fellow aldermen to oppose this.
Okay, so we have a motion. Yes, Alderman Randall.
Yes, if I may, I'd like to ask Alderman Kinsella, could you expand a little bit upon your visual inspection of the premises?
There was an overstuffed chair sitting out front of this place. There was a 4x8 sheet of something, I don't know what it was, some sort of sheeting that it wasn't, I think perhaps it was, I don't know really what it was. There were several buckets and cans. There was a set of shutters leaning against the enclosure. The trash receptacle, the dumpster, was not in the enclosure. It was sitting out front. There were about 15 milk crates sitting out there. I know some of that's probably due to weather because the milk crates were hard to access because of the snow. So that one kind of slides. But I would not want this in my ward.
Alderman, hey, Your Honor, I assume if this is approved, that he's going to have to get inspections and have everything up to code, correct?
Well, he has to meet all the business occupancy before he can get moving into business. This is the first step, getting the zoning variance, yes.
So I hear Mr. Gonzalez and Ms. Hall, but I'm a agreeable. The guy wants to open a business and try to serve the citizens of Belleville. You know, until he messes up, I'm willing to let him have a shot.
Alderman Ridgewitz?
Mayor, I know that area, and I think a vacant building there does no good. I think if you've got a business and it's lit, I know that the police will bring police into the area just to stop by maybe for a coffee or something. Where now, it's just a blighted area, so I'd be fine.
Alderman Hope?
I would disagree with my colleague about blight. That is my neighborhood. I live there.
Well, it's a vacant
I have
building.
a floor. I would also like to point out, my home was once a grocery store. The house behind me was once a grocery store. The building immediately across the street from this proposal was once a commercial property, but is now a home. I don't live in a cookie cutter neighborhood. It is very possible to find another use for that property. It is not blighted.
What I meant by that was that there's nothing in the building now.
That's true, and it's been empty for years and years.
Yes.
And the last time it was open, it was a horrible problem.
Alderman Schneider?
I'm gonna have to say, I'm not even gonna be able to vote on this because, I wasn't given any information on this. And I know Alderman Holton, Schmidt have talked about it, and Kinsella and Heisler and that. I don't know what the people are wanting. What do the people want that live there? I mean,
Well, the budding property owners were notified by the zoning. Emily, was there any people show up at the meeting that had any comments?
No one came to the zoning meeting. No one from the public.
Signs were posted and notices were sent out, so there was nothing this time. In previous, there was issues. Alderman Schmidt?
I just read through the old minutes in 2009, I believe it was. This came before the council at the time with another member of his family applying and was denied. And they had 285 people sign a petition then against it, and I don't think anyone has signed it now.
Well, no one turned the petition around.
But I mean, well, someone took a petition around, 4 years ago, so I mean, I guess the opposition is wavered in the neighborhood, I don't know.
Well, I would like to point out the sign disappeared from the property, the zoning sign, nearly immediately.
But the budding property owners, there were still a number of them notified by registered mail.
Yes, all of the property owners were registered by certified mail.
Alderman Glady?
I'd like to know why Alderman Heisler's for it. If he wants to, I mean, he's a
Free enterprise. As long as you abide by the rules, sir. That's,
Alderman Schneider?
I have a question. Gabby's, I'm sorry, not Gabby, Mr. Roger, what you said, that it would be, that the police would be in and out checking and things like that. Can you explain what you're talking about?
Yes.
I'm just asking a question.
I understand. I know when I rode the streets at night, there was a few places open other than the main place here and there. And it was nice to go into a place like that, stop for a cup of coffee or sandwich, because a lot of times you're by yourself. I believe that area will be lit up because there's going to the parking lot. I just believe that you can ask the officer, I think it would bring officers into the area a little more.
Okay, opinion?
At zoning, the proposed property owner was specifically asked about lighting, and the answer was very vague. The hours of opening were very vague. I also would point out the city of Cahokia revoked the alcohol beverages for this sister business.
I don't mean to cut in. I'm not sure if I can talk or not, but.
Well.
Go ahead.
I'll give you a second. Go ahead, if you have a statement.
Well, I was gonna wait for Alderman Holt to finish her statement on the alcohol deal, and then I wanted to elaborate on that for her, if I could.
Proceed.
In that building, there's always been a liquor license, regardless before the, even at the time during the school. The only reason that building closed was in 1984 because of a shooting that had nothing to do with alcohol. Secondly, when we opened in 2004, we opened with a liquor license on the note of the previous mayor. City law, cannot be higher than state law. And state law said that a grocery store may obtain a liquor license as long as their sales of grocery are more than alcohol, which in our place of business was. Our liquor sales were, I believe, at 35%. And in that time, we never had a violation on our liquor license. That's just one thing. Second, the mayor did sign for the liquor license the first year he was in office. And then, I'm not sure how the new village ordinances came about, but yes, we did lose it, not due to the fact of any problems or anything like that, but simply because he was kind of on a rampage. There is 2 articles in the news and on Channel 2 or Channel 4, if I'm not mistaken about it, and he was never there to elaborate on it. But I was, because I worked in that place firsthand. And I understand that, I'm sorry, I can't remember his name. Alderman Consilla. I understand that you've seen some things at my current place that you didn't like. And I wanted to tell you, if there's anything that you want done differently, I have no problem. What you want, I'm willing to give.
Okay.
Your Honor, is there alcohol to be sold here?
No, this is for a convenience store with no alcohol. This does not have an alcohol variance in this case tonight. As you know, in 2005 or 6, we changed our code to where you have to have a variance to obtain a liquor license. And this is not for that. Yes, sir.
What's the young man talking about? The state laws supersede our law.
Well,
So if the city,
our home rule law was changed in 2000, I think it was 6, wasn't it, Emily? When we added the variance for alcohol, and therefore as a whole, the village of Okie you were talking about.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry.
I mean, if grocery sales are higher than 35%, then the state says that they can have a variance, they can sell liquor.
Legally, in the case of being next to a school within 100 feet door to door, property line to property line, I should have elaborated on that a little bit more too.
So if you sell so much groceries, then you can have a liquor license and we couldn't do anything about it?
No, not that. It's still, in City of Belleville's case, I guess it does still go through the...
We still have we have the authority to issue the variance on liquor. We're a home rule community, and that's why we established that just for these various purposes. Somebody else have a hand up?
I have something to explain it on it, like home rule,
Okay. So the vote here tonight would be, a yes vote will be to go along with the zoning board's recommendation, right, Emily? And approve the variance for the store. A no vote will be to say no to their request, okay?
You wouldn't have an ordinance drawn.
And have an ordinance drawn. Right.
Ordinance.
We don't have the ordinance here tonight. No, we do not. This is unfinished business, and this is just for the vote. Alderman Davidson.
Am I correct in the aldermen, the 2 aldermen that are involved in it, or that this is in their ward, or split them?
Yes.
And who's the 2 closest aldermen, who's the next ward? And where do you guys are split? You're split?
I don't know.
And you're against? I'm sorry. And, Ms. Schmidt, you're still up in the air?
For a couple seconds. Okay, I'm going to call for a roll call vote. Once again, I vote means you approve the zoning board's recommendation to approve the variance. A no vote would say no to the request for having a convenience store. Go ahead.
Heisler.
Aye.
Kinsella.
No.
Holt.
No.
Schmidt.
Aye.
Rizwitz.
Aye.
Randall.
Aye.
Anthony.
Aye.
Davidson.
Aye.
Silsby.
Aye.
Hayden.
Aye.
Seibert.
Aye.
White.
Aye.
Galletti.
Aye.
Musgrove.
No.
Orland.
Aye.
Schneider.
I don't want to vote because I don't have enough information to make a vote logically. So I would abstain.
13 to 2 and 1 abstain.
The ayes have it. I'll have the articles at the next meeting. Okay. Miscellaneous and new business, is there any tonight? Yes, ma'am.
I would give the floor to Mr. Davis.
Okay.
I have a couple of, I have one point that I'd like the council to consider as a point of order or a point. I would like the sequence of roll call to be varied. I do not think that Ward 1 should always go first and Ward 8 should always go last.
We'll look into that.
I think that up to the clerk's discretion.
Yeah, we can do that.
I think the chair has the right to do that, so we'll look into that. We've talked about it. We've talked about it for years.
And, I mean, just, you know.
I agree.
However,
It's standard
easy.
practice to mix it up now, from what I've understood, what the convention.
I'm not trying to make it harder, and you guys like your own system.
Well, it's understandable. I agree 100%.
But I think that, second thing that was brought up tonight, public participation, was also, it was in the newspaper, and I'm having a little difficulty with people talking about this ball. And I don't understand it, I don't know, I'm having a hard time.
I'd love to have time to address that if I could.
If you can, because I can't explain it, but people were saying, their business is their business, it's a ball.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah, first of all, it is my office, and I do have my own discretion and ability to do as I see fit and proper. I've had 2 gentlemen in our vault, and I have 2 vaults. I have one upstairs in my main office, and then I have one downstairs. The vault contains, a lot of information. There's nothing, I shouldn't say that there's nothing of value there, because everything's of value. The information is of number 1 importance for my job. However, each time that I've entered into the vault, I have done so as well. One was Mr. Michael Hagberg, who's out there today. He wanted to see some TIF files, which obviously he can FOIA for those, and then I can ask the staff member to spend the next week or so going through and copying them all. But there's no need for that. That's what I'm there. I'm here to serve. So what I did is I took him into the vault, which is not a problem whatsoever for him to come in there with me, for me to show him the files, and for him to point out to me what is most important to him so I don't waste time or paper. We pulled those, I run them through a scanner, send them to my email, and then send them to him. There is nothing wrong with that. It is what we should do. We are here to serve those people, especially like Mr. Hagberg, who are here to help hold us accountable and make sure that we're doing what's right. The second was Dr. Brunkow. He's a historian here that we're really lucky to have in this town, and I have enjoyed thoroughly each time I've gone to the vault with him, and we've looked at a lot of old, very neat stuff that we have. But never has anything been compromised, never has anybody spent any time there alone, and never would I allow anybody of any, obvious poor character to come anywhere near my office or my vault. And I respectfully ask that people understand that and don't try to hinder my ability to progress the city. And Ms. Wilson, you speak so much of character all the time. Telling me to grow up, that's not very kind or character whatsoever. I just ask that everybody treat each other kindly, and I would only do what's right for the city.
Okay, but I will say this, Jim, and to finish to answer your question. I too had this brought to my attention recently. Garrett and I are going to talk, and we'll have to have a conversation with Dallas, because my concern, and we haven't had this conversation yet, you and I, my concern with this is we have the responsibility, the city employees and the city staff, to prepare the FOIA information and look at it in case there is something that should have been redacted and stricken. That is confidential information. Could be somebody's personal information, and we could be held liable for releasing it. And we and the city employees and the city could be.
Well then, sir, maybe you should appoint yourself chief FOIA officer. If it's me, then I'm the one who's supposed to look and make those redactions, sir. You've got to let me do my job.
Okay, Mr. Attorney, is that not true that the clerk by statute is the primary FOIA officer?
Not by statute, he needs to appoint me, chief FOIA officer.
My understanding is he is the chief FOIA officer.
He is the chief FOIA officer.
So why
Well, then I
does
should
it be
think that-
reviewed by any other authority?
Right.
Because it's just like,
Well, it's
You're
common.
saying you don't trust the man to do the job.
No,
He was was elected to do.
No, actually, we did have a meeting and we were all in agreement that there's a process that we need to follow to ensure that all documents are produced when they're responsive to a request, because not all city documents are maintained in the clerk's office. There are documents in other departments, and we created a process, and I believe that the clerk is already utilizing it to pull all of them together.
Okay, but are you saying that under the current system, if someone applies online, which goes to the clerk,
Right.
it still has to go upstairs and be reviewed by someone other than the clerk's
No,
office?
what I'm talking about is distributing the request to make sure that there are responsive documents that are maintained in an office other than the clerk's office. It most certainly is.
If someone asks something that is the clerk's responsibility, does it need to go to any other?
If it's a request, only documents maintained by the clerk,
Yes.
only if he wants to have legal review of it, which I think is a good idea to find out to make sure that there are necessary redactions under the law.
I mean, I have the TIF files and the public documents, why not give it to a man who just would like to review them? I don't see the problem with that.
Because sometimes
This is a show for no reason, let's move on.
Yes.
I suggested that
We need to
too.
be transparent, we need to give them the information.
Alderman Gillette, you got to recognize you.
Thank you, Your Honor. This kind of sounds to me like more of like informal type requests from the public rather than FOIA. And, you know, if you were to let Mr. Hagberg in to the vault and he goes and looks at something, maybe wants more information, then maybe, you know, it's on Mr. Hagberg to actually do a FOIA so that, you know, so it's official. But this doesn't really sound like an actual FOIA request to me, and I don't know. I'd be relying on the city attorney for that. But is what is going on here by letting people look at documents in the vault, and maybe not actually taking copies out? Is that the same thing as filling out a FOIA and submitting it and having it go to not just the clerk's office but all the other departments?
Yeah, the Freedom of Information Act actually contemplates access and inspection, as well as you could request copies after you inspect it. But really what the Freedom of Information Act does is it provides for public inspection of documents. So it would be subject to FOIA. But, you know, again, I'm not suggesting that anybody's doing anything wrong. The question was posed to me. I think it's a good practice to ensure that all responsive documents are produced in response to a request. I think it's a good idea to maintain a record of all requests and a scanned record at the very least of everything that you produce, because oftentimes Freedom of Information Act's requests precede litigation, and they utilize in litigation your response. And if you can't tell them what was in your response to the FOIA request, you're at a disadvantage when it comes to litigation.
Is there sign-in sheets?
I just want to, I can really clear this up. Can I answer your question, Willie, because that was one of my answers? The issue here is that FOIA was created to force government entities to release information. That doesn't mean somebody can't come ask for something and we just give it to them. That should be the standard practice. FOIA became law because municipalities gave people a hard time and didn't allow them to have information. FOIA forces you to give it. You don't have to have FOIA to get something. You should be able to come in and ask anytime. All this confusion here forces my employees. Somebody came in and asked for an ordinance. Well, obviously we should give them the ordinance. Copy the ordinance and give it to them. Well, she made them fill out a FOIA because she's so concerned with the mayor or somebody having a problem with that. We are here to serve the people. And when someone like Alderwoman Schneider comes and is doing all these FOIAs, it's not because she wants to bother people, it's because she asked for something, she doesn't get it. So she has to file a FOIA for that law. Now, most of the time, though, if we have information, we should just give it. I have taken a lot of training to determine what is and what is not legally to be given to the public, and I would never compromise the city, and I hope that you would trust me in doing that job as the people who elected me to this office to do such a thing.
Is there a sign-in sheet now?
A sign-in for FOIA or for...
Yeah, I mean, I've dealt with vaults and
Sure.
armories and things like this. And
It's just, people keep talking about vault, it's not really, it's not like a bank vault or, and I'm the clerk, it's information.
Well, is there a sign-in sheet that, I mean, there's always gonna have to be
Sure.
the checks and balances. I mean, there's
Sure.
accountability has to
Sure.
be there. And if a form signed that said FOIA on it is the check and balance, and that's what we have to do. We can't just arbitrarily decide to let Michael in, and what if you decide not to let somebody else in?
Well, I would treat everybody
I
equally
know,
all the time.
but, there is no accountability for that.
Well, I'm the city clerk, and I'm the one who's holding that accountable. And that's my job, in my opinion, but I could be wrong.
I don't know either, maybe.
We're gonna research this further. We will.
I just feel like it's my office, and I don't know why somebody else is gonna research
No,
on what I can't.
because if there does
All I'm
become,
asking for is accountability, guys.
Right.
And if everybody ought to understand,
I think we're all for that. I think we're good here, and we don't
Alderman
need to
Schneider?
put on the show.
I think I understand what Alderman Davis has far. It would be just like when you go in, get into your safe deposit box at the bank, you sign in and then you sign out. I think this is what he's asking for, which would be no big deal. You get a form printed up, time signed in, the person signs it, the clerk states what time it was and when you left.
Right.
There's
We're
no big
saying
deal.
vault, but it's a closet.
Right, it is. This
It's
is
a
a
closet.
little odd.
There's no money in it.
Well, it would have the accountability of the people.
I mean, information is valuable.
Sure, absolutely, and that's why we would never allow anybody to go in there alone or on a company. Mr. Hagberg simply helped me. He helped me because he has been working on the TIF stuff for the last couple of years, and he has a wealth of knowledge on this, and so I just,
And
he
he's
was very
a
helpful.
good checks and balance guy.
But
He is.
But at the same time,
You know what?
when Joe Blow comes walking in that we don't know and says, what do you let?
Well, I can tell you what, due to budgetary reasons, I haven't been able to appoint a deputy clerk, and I did consider appointing Mr. Hagberg deputy clerk, and then we have the right to all information in the city, and so maybe that's something I should consider more seriously.
That would be a good idea.
That would be a good idea.
Very good idea.
I think I'll do that.
is there anything
No,
else?
I'm sure they'll,
Yes.
deputize.
Are we changing topics but still under unfinished business?
Yes.
All right, I have some questions. It's in here. Under economic development and TIP, do we have a dedicated employee who checks compliance?
Checks compliance of,
We, for instance, Market Fresh, we had an agreement with them, they went out.
and we filed, I don't know if we filed for litigation, but we had no, they haven't got much other than enterprise zone, which we can't go back on. That would be inquired about that.
But there's a lot of,
But, I mean, these are, if you would send these to me, we'll investigate them and get you the answers. I don't have them to tip my fingers tonight here.
I understand that, I'm saying, is there a person who does have?
They got a 3-person staff plus a secretarial person, and it just depends on what they're working on, who's available, who's there, and they try to, Emily divvies it up. We don't have one person hired just to work on compliance, they have too many jobs.
I understand that, but, you know, when Alderman Schneider last year asked for something, and Eric said it took him 70 hours
Well-
to come up with the information, I don't think we are staying on top of our end of the deal.
we're not.
And it's a repeating cycle. We are offering money to people, they go out of business, we file a lawsuit, nothing happens. What's happening with the old, Charleston pharmacy?
We settled. We got money back.
Okay.
Huh? And now it's a church.
Well, I knew something else was in there. I thought our agreement with Kurt Arner had a time frame on it. I'm not at all unhappy with it, as long as he's making forward progress, I don't.
He's working, they're doing the build out this week.
They are, but I thought we had put a time frame in.
I don't have-
I'm not proposing we enforce it, I'm just saying.
I don't know that it's not being followed. He got a little later start than what we originally talked about. Well, so I mean, that the clock started ticking once we signed the agreement. It didn't when we first had it in the paper, 6, 8 months ago. He's just really, we just had a signed deal not that many months ago, right, Emily?
I'm gonna have to go back and reread that, because I don't remember off the top of my head.
We'll check it. I mean, but I'm just saying, he's working now as we speak. I spoke to him
Well,
this
yes,
week.
I'm happy about it, he's making progress, I understand
Okay.
that. But originally, there were some due dates that I'm sure have been missed.
Well, we'll take a look at that, I can guarantee you.
But that's what I'm asking. What is the mechanism for looking at it? It seems like things fall through the cracks a lot around here.
if we had more staff, we'd have more mechanism, but we are very short in most every department. Now, when you raise up a valid question, we're going to get it answered as quick as possible.
Okay, the Meredith Home RFP was brought up.
And Eric, it went out, right?
Months late, but there was no corresponding extension.
Well, first of all, we waited till the state came in and did their report, right, Eric?
Yeah, we had to wait for the condition assessment to get back, and then we worked out all the dates, and I was ready to go about a few weeks before, but we had to wait for the condition assessment.
Okay, I understand that, but like I'm saying, things do take time, but you did not correspondingly bump up the deadline.
May 1st is still a good amount of time. If there's an abundance of people who come forward, or there's some time that we need to reconsider, then that's fine. But if we can't get any initial interest between now and May 1st,
Well, frankly, after having read that RFP and its very unwelcoming tone, my biggest question is, who authorized the statement, the $500,000 plus interest must be paid, and then it underlined, this is a non-negotiable term? That did not come from this council.
well, I think Mr. Cook made it clear to us.
Mr. Cook does not own that building.
Well, there's stipulations on it.
Really, really covered that there is no legal binding document that says that.
Okay, whether there's a binding document or not, I sat at this table and I made a promise to that man, and I intend to keep it.
You have no right to sell government property in an under-the-table deal. To get rid of vehicles, we had to vote on it. You cannot sell a $500,000 building with one guy without taking bids on it.
Excuse
You
me,
cannot.
has somebody donated that vehicle to us? This was given to us. We sat
We
here
bought the
and...
building ourselves from the Catholic Diocese.
Correct. But he gave us the money for it, okay? We owe that back to him. Now,
No,
whether
we don't.
it's legally
He's a
written...
smart man.
Yes, you're one at a time. Excuse me. My word is that I promised
The
that when
people
we
of
took
your
that
ward,
money...
you support.
Thank you. You want to put some more words? Excuse me, I don't want to be hostile. That's not right. What we need to do here is we need to work towards solutions rather than personalities. But the truth of this matter is, I sat here at this table, and I know that we owe him $500,000 if we do something other than what he requested.
Well, I agree with you. That is going to be one of my budget suggestions to the finance committee, that we repay him that money and get his name totally removed from any consideration of what happens to that building.
That actually is up to him. No, because our agreement was to put it as a partner. That's what we promised him. And that's when we took the money. That's part of the agreement. Now, if he wants to
Mr.
come...
Casella, there are no meeting minutes that show that.
That doesn't matter. I'm saying I sat in the meeting and I know exactly what was done and exactly what we wanted to do. No, I don't. I don't need that.
Yes, sir, this is public property, not your own
Excuse me.
home.
When we are acting in the public good or for the public, even if it's the public bad, we are held responsible for what we say and do. And I sat here and I promised the man that if we took his money, we would build a park. Now, he's been kind enough to allow us to look at some other things, and that's very generous of him. But we can't automatically say that...
Then why did we send out an RFP to begin with?
Because
if that is your position, why did we send out an RFP?
Because we had his approval to.
Yes.
And I explained that to you.
We don't need his approval. It doesn't belong to him. It belongs to the city.
And a promise is a promise is a promise.
Alderman
I'm
Silver.
sorry.
Only if it's legally binding.
Are you saying you can tell me one thing, and if it's not legally, you're going to go behind my back? That's not how I do business. That's not right. And we all know that. We are supposed to be working towards solutions. We're not supposed to be bickering. But when I made a promise to somebody, I made a promise.
And we had a vote, and we accepted his check, and we cashed it, we paid off the loan.
Sir, there is no record of a vote.
There's no record of a vote?
What date was that? What meeting was that?
Maybe if we cleared this up, had it just.
I don't think this is the time.
Alderman
I'm
Silver.
willing to move on.
I'd just like to say, last meeting, or a couple of meetings ago, we had another alderman, we took another alderman to task because something was said. I take offense that comments have been made, this was a backyard deal, under the table deal on Miss Meredith home. I resent that, and I want it in the minutes that reflects the fact that that is not what took place. We sat in open session, we talked about it, we accepted what was taking place, and to say it was under the table deal, I'm offended.
Produce the record. They've been FOIA'd. They've been requested. They do not exist. No public meetings can take place without properly taking minutes and then approval at the next meeting by those same people. If this meeting was placed, where are your minutes?
Okay, we're not, we went through this, and I don't know why these questions weren't there the night when Mr. Harner brought in all the documentation and the memo, et cetera. We'll have to go back and revisit this after the first of the year.
Okay,
and
my
we will.
point on the RFP was, at no time did we say, when we discussed sending it out, the cook deal notwithstanding, did we say that part of the RFP was paying for the building? That is what I am up to.
Eric, did we, when did we send the RFP out?
1 to 2 weeks ago, it's been pretty much.
It was posted on the web, et cetera. Did the alderman get emailed a copy of it?
No.
But it was posted, et cetera. We
But it was
should.
not approved by this body as a policy decision before it went out. That is what I am objecting.
Alderman Davidson.
I just would like Belinda, just give me the opportunity to take back what you said. I wasn't on the council then, of course, but this idea of corruption and under the table and that Phil has brought up, I mean, I just want to give you the opportunity to say maybe that was just.
I stand by my statement. There
So
is
it was-
no record before Mr. Cook's check
So these
was
statements-
received
so these-
that this council met about any of it.
So these statements about under the table and corruption?
Mr. Davidson, the documents have been looked at, they've been looked at by the newspaper. I've gone in the vault and looked at them. Mr. Cook's check was received before any
So
action.
does that mean that there's corruption?
That means a deal was cut.
Well, it was all documented in the front page of the newspaper, every act. I mean, if the minutes were poorly recorded, and I think Garrett and I will look at this whole thing again the next day or so, because we thought we were all through this. It was spelled out in the front page of the paper in numerous articles. Every act, every vote. You know, that we took the action, that we agreed to do what we agreed to do. So we'll have to revisit this. We're not going to resolve it tonight. I don't have the file in front of us, and we'll just have to do it. But once again, I'll say that. Any other comments tonight before we go to more fuel claims? Yes, sir, hold it. Mr. White has the floor.
On a lighter note, getting back to the FOIA request, I think it would be a good idea for all three of you to sit down and formulate a precise method of receiving them, tracking them, and ensuring that each department responds in a rapid manner, because this is something that's causing trouble with the state of Illinois.
We've had this conversation. Garrett's drafting a policy. It needs to get to everyone quickly. But we've had the meeting, and I thought we were all on the same page. And we had a meeting.
Yeah, but did you get my email on December 3rd about the FOIA software update? I sent it to you and your secretary,
I told you,
and Jamie.
well,
And no, but not one person even replied to my email.
That's not true. I talked to you. You
I've
talked
got
to me
a
about
solution to
this.
this problem.
Well, and I
I'm just
told you
saying,
we'll have
I've
to
got a
budget the
solution.
money. We'll have to agree to find the money. And the day you and I talked, I told you, Jamie wasn't even there that day.
I have travel money in my budget. I'm willing to to pay for it
Well,
out of my own travel budget.
Then come see me and we'll talk about that with you.
Let's just do it and we'll fix this.
But that's, anyway, there's some other issues. We're not gonna stop tonight.
Hopefully your answer is come see me. He did send you the email. You didn't reply. So, I'm sorry, I think it's a.
You got all, everything. Yes.
Yes, John, this pretty much being the last meeting of the year, I just wanted to wish everybody a Merry Christmas.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, can you tell me what's gonna happen with the parking lot where we bought the building from Ben's and the library?
It's gonna come down first of January.
Okay, and.
We closed on it about 2 weeks ago, wasn't it, Garrett? Roughly? 2 weeks ago? A couple weeks ago, and Mr. Conkright did not want it disturbed until the Christmas shopping season was over, and I agreed with him. So I talked to Hank, and probably January 6th is the first real Monday after that week, we should get started, weather permitting, as Tim would say.
Okay, do you know anything going on with Gardner Development?
I don't know of anything.
Do we have somebody who is checking business occupancy permits? I mean, I know Emily is involved in issuing them. Seems like we should have somebody who would check permits. Do we have somebody doing that?
We don't currently have the manpower to go out unless we get a complaint, and then we would go check on it.
Okay, what's the deal with Toki that was supposed to be developing a?
We agreed, Toki and I and Chamber agreed we'd be back together after the first of the year.
Okay.
Well, remember when we went back and we adopted the logo for the 200 for this year?
Right.
We again gave Toki some time to look at the permanent thing because we didn't want to introduce it right in the midst of the 200.
Well, that makes sense.
So, and I explained that then, and maybe you happen not be at that meeting or something, but we explained that, and he's going to get back with us after the first of the year, and we're going to follow up and
I
see.
thought they also were supposed to be coming up with like a catchphrase or a.
He's got a whole packet we'll be seeing sometime, not too long down the road.
Okay,
I don't have a date set with you yet, but soon.
we did talk recently about the website. Is the search feature working correctly?
Have you asked Sharon?
No, I'm not having much success. I hear stories of things that are not where they're supposed to be. I wanted to ask Emily, what's the next update on the comprehensive plan? The next.
The consultants are going to be back in January. We just had a new question posted on MagicBelleville.com, so that online discussion continues. We're still looking at a draft and to be available sometime in the spring. We got pushed back just a couple of weeks because we got slowed down, you know, with the holidays and things, but I think it'll be ready in the April timeframe.
Okay. And the GIS person that we have hired, are they, busy every day getting everything they need? Is everything in the proper format?
She's been a godsend.
Oh, I'm sure. She's very
Yeah,
nice
she's
lady.
busy, every day with doing, helping me with planning and zoning stuff, doing GIS. We've met with every department now for, it's gonna be an ongoing process getting things figured out. We are nowhere near having a, complete, correct, all of our data sets being completely correct in our system. It's gonna take a lot of time to read through every file we have and go through things and update things. So, we're working on it.
Okay, so her initial then was just basically data entry with what we have now, but it'll be added. For instance, we talked to Streets and Grades about a program or some information Tim was looking for that lets you know more what's under the streets.
We're working on inputting all of the utility information that we have access to. So, for example, sanitary sewer information, some of the old stuff is in paper now, just trying to get that in digitally. I mean, all that stuff takes a long time. So we're working through, we're setting priorities on what needs to happen first and how we're going to integrate this. Okay.
And so then, as we're adding new sewers and doing this new project, are you getting that information in the format you need to be? I don't know how she does it. I mean, does she do it
I'm happy to set up a meeting
Maybe the credit card bill pay, is that working? Is it doing what you had hoped it would do? So you're satisfied? Would you let us have an update on how the gaming income is doing? Do you believe it's flattened out yet? Do you believe we're still in an initial stage?
We're still very much in the initial stage. There's still entities signing up every month. So we still have several more to come on. It's been pretty slow to get going. I think there's about 9 or 10 entities that we're collecting from right now.
So it's not really something you can use as a projection to do a real budget on?
Not yet, hopefully in the next several
The
months.
state's extremely slow approving and signing, hooking them up. I think if you read the News Democrat article the other day, I researched and we got about 8 or 9 that just been approved, and there's 8 or 9 new applications pending, and there's the number that we have, and we had those listed. I mean, it's a slow process.
So are those checks coming on a more timely manner than like the sales tax checks?
Sales tax are timely.
Yeah,
It's
sales
income
tax
tax
is
that was
always
up.
timely. Sales tax is timely. Gambling comes once a month.
And income tax right now, knock on wood, has been good. So we'll see. It's been much better than it was a couple years ago.
Do you have a schedule of when you're going to be meeting with department heads if anybody's interested?
I usually start meeting with them in January. They have the schedule.
After we get the draft, then you'd be more than willing to come in, we're gonna get a draft going. We're gonna meet with them the first round.
Okay, here's my big question. Cool. Where are we? I know you said we talked to partners. Are
We have, and I think Jim Schneider and I told you earlier in a report that the partners that we have had at the table all said 2013 was not a good year for them, any of them, as far as making any financial commitments. Without some of those partners, we don't believe we're in a position to move this project forward. The agreement was we would sit down and touch base with these partners again in 2014, which is right around the corner now.
It is. So are you seeing that as something we need to start putting money aside for, or are you seeing that as too early in the process to even guess how much we should put away?
I would say that we're going to have to talk about it during the budget, but I will tell you that the first thing I'm going to talk about during the budget process is putting enough money away that we can get this police station remodeled, updated, renewed, rebuilt, whatever we have to do. So that'll be the next priority. It's like any other checklist, we got to go down the list. I told you not too many months ago, we paid off the firehouse, we paid off 510. We've got to do the police station. It's got to be the next, I believe, the next highest priority for this city council. The pool's important, but the partners have got to make sure they're ready to go when we engage in a pool. If not, I do not recommend that the city would embark on a new pool without partners. I think we'd be making a big mistake financially.
Okay, drug testing. It was supposed to be being looked at, we've never had a report come back, never any prices, never any, this is what their union things are, never should the elected officials discuss it, it's just kind of died.
We'll get you copies of the county policy that they just adopted, and we'll go forward looking at this after the first year. I don't have any problem. I don't have any problem. Once again, we're trying to get across to what it's going to cost. And
Yeah, but we've been talking about it for months, and no information has ever come back.
well, but it's like this. Every other day, somebody comes in with 1,000 questions, so we stop what we're doing, staff, because this becomes the next most important thing. I would tell you, there's a lot of things on our plate. And a gentle reminder, your laundry list tonight, a couple of these phone calls, if you talked to us along the way, talked to me, we could have had some more stuff here prepared. But that's okay, we already got you. Anybody else during this? Yes, ma'am.
I just want to let you know, I appreciate the last 2 appointments you made to the Historic Preservation Commission. They have been very helpful, but since they've been appointed, we have had one more person resign. So,
We'll have to work on some more.
I
Hopefully I can find some more good ones.
like I said, last year you put a very good
I'm going to appoint an interim fire chief. The chief's not leaving until February 3rd, and he's assured me he's basically planning to be here every day for the most part between now and then. He's got no major time planned to take vacation, and he's going to be here. Sometime after Christmas, I will appoint an interim, and then I'm going to. It's my right or duty to appoint a chief, but I am going to request resumes be sent to me, and we're going to put the word out that I am looking for a resume so I can make sure that we get the best possible candidate.
Okay, last question. What is your opinion on city board? Do you see some?
I told you before, and I just said it again recently, I think one of the best things that we're going to see to try this and test this is the new housing situation, and I think we can see how this works. I think we have two new city attorneys in the last 8 months who didn't feel the way some of our previous attorneys felt about the cumbersomeness of it and possibly the awkwardness of it. But it's like anything else. We worked hard to get housing crime-free passed. It's in place. We're working on it. We got a hearing officer in place. Let's see how this goes. I'm still not opposed to looking at city court in the future. Can we tackle everything in the next couple of months? The answer is no. Will we work towards it? The answer is yes. But I don't have a time frame for it, and we still have more research to do. There's still some things. I don't want to jump into something that's going to end up having more negative repercussions on our staff and cost the city more money and time until we got everything figured out and secured. I don't know that it's the fix-all, save-all that some people think, but I'm still willing to look at it, and I still think it has some potential. Alderman Schmidt.
I just have a real quick question. Will we be getting a report about the possibility of remodeling City Hall or any police?
We'll be hearing from the architect. We'll be having something in the first couple meetings in January, and we'll have some direction for the city council's shortly. Yes, sir.
I'll second that.
We have a motion by Alderman Seibert, second by Alderman Galetti to approve the motor fuel claims in the amount of $3,132.74. Discussion. Roll call.
Heisler.
Aye.
Kinsella.
Aye.
Holt. Schmidt. Ridgewitz. Randall. Anthony. Davidson. Silsby. Hayden. Seibert. White. Galetti. Musgrove. Orland. Schneider.
Passes. There's nothing for executive session. Motion by Alderman Schmidt, second by Alderman Galetti. All in favor of adjournment? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
That was